It was back on September 30th, in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, that Trump warned that I don't like the reports I'm getting about the federal government going out of their way to not help people in Republican areas. Well, it turns out that Trump was right again. FEMA confirmed over the weekend that one of its supervisors told disaster relief workers to, quote, avoid homes advertising Trump. The supervisor in question, Marnie Washington, has since been fired. Shocking. No one ever gets fired in this administration. Joining me now, Florida Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna. Congresswoman, this was infuriating when I first saw it. I know the Daily Signal broke this story. FEMA Administrator Daily Wire, excuse me, and Deanne Criswell released a statement Saturday from FEMA saying, I want to be clear to all my employees, the American people, this type of behavior and action will not be tolerated. FEMA will hold people accountable. They violate these standards of conduct. Is that good enough for you, Congresswoman?
Not at all. In fact, I actually personally wrote Criswell a letter demanding answers, as well as Chairman Comer is asking her to come in and testify. I expect a full investigation, and I want to see emails because I don't think that this is just an isolated incident. To put it in perspective, Laura, my district was actually one of the hardest hit districts. We had 13 people die. A majority of my constituents had their claims denied with FEMA. And so I do believe that, as you saw, this was a very weaponized administration, and I do think that they know of more instances, but they're probably covering up for it. So it's our job to get to the bottom of it. Well,
they were accusing former President-elect Trump of politicizing disaster relief when he was president. But, I mean, this is classic. Yeah. I mean, this is literally playing with people's lives and their property and their daily needs, basic necessities. I mean, they'll give it anything that migrants want coming across the border, but some poor person with a Trump sign doesn't get help. It's shocking. I mean, it's infuriating. We were hearing reports out of North Carolina that people were also being denied, and I think that that's when I started kind of picking my head up and kind of listening to some of those claims, because again, you know, after the hurricane hit both Helene and Milton here, Biden called down and assured that we would have all the assistance that we needed, but now you're finding that this was not just an isolated thing. I mean, this woman went as far as directing in person some of these people that were doing the claims to just ignore them, and that's simply unacceptable. I don't think that it was a conspiracy theory. We know that President Trump was right, but I do think that outlets like the New York Times should retract their accusations saying that that was misinformation, because clearly we were correct, and clearly this is just more evidence that this administration, instead of focusing on people and Americans and uniting the country, they're just further dividing us. Congresswoman, I know you're in the House, but the Senate leadership fight that's going on, or it's a race, and it's a family fight. Thoughts about that, given what's at stake in a very short window that President Trump has to enact his agenda? Make no mistake, Mitch McConnell is absolutely trying to knife Rick Scott and ensure that President Trump's agenda is blocked. Mitch McConnell has done more harm to this country than I would argue that Schumer has. And the fact is that Thune and Cornyn, if they really loved this country and they wanted to back this president, they would stand aside and let Rick Scott be the majority leader. Wow. Congresswoman, thank you very much. We appreciate it.